What's good, black people? I've been sitting back on the sidelines for years, not really thinking my own voice mattered that much. A lot of brothers were carrying the weight, but there are some things that I feel I can contribute to the awakening of our people. Decentralized warfare. There are no leaders, but the ideas have to come out of our heads. We have to get the ideas out of our heads. The beautiful thing about black people and black culture is that though we don't know it, when we embrace our souls, our honesty, there's no force on this planet that can compete with us. When we are righteously in tune with who we are, all disorder must fall or be destroyed. Those of us in the Americas, those black folks in the Americas, I'm talking my people in North America, the Caribbean, South America. We are the black people who are charged with the greatest responsibility of coming home to who we really are. I've learned a lot about myself for over the years. When I talk to my elders, they tell me that as a child, I didn't talk very much. And as a young adult, I didn't really talk very much. They probably would have classified me as autistic. I never was diagnosed because I didn't trust this society enough. I was always a mental cynic because I trust my observations more than I trusted the words of society, of schools, of churches, of so-called elders. We don't have any elders, we just have elders. I didn't trust what I heard. I saw and classified for myself what was. The thing I was missing until my early 30s was the ability to articulate my observations. I could always act on them. I could always create on them. And people would look, oh, that's awesome. Look what you're able to do. But I didn't know how to articulate it in a way that would jar the soul of whoever heard me. Until now. You see, when I graduated high school, I couldn't read. Sure, I could call out words and I could articulate. Yeah. But I couldn't read. I couldn't absorb the rhythm of the information in the text and marry it into my understanding. That took years and years and years of self-work. And then I learned how to read. Then later I started working low-wage jobs, and I was around a lot of Mexicans. And I didn't buy into the anti-Mexican propaganda this society puts out. I was mindful of it, but I'm not afraid of any goddamn body. I was coming into myself. I didn't know who I was yet. So I was working around these Mexicans. And I noticed something. See, my observations are my ability to observe what's going on in front of me and use my own language, if you will, to classify my own vision. Anyone who talks against what I see, I would just simply put the question to them and ask them what they see when they look at exactly what I'm looking at. And what you find is most people don't have a vision. Most people don't have an observation. Most people are looking for permission to say what they've read or heard from someone else. I'm asking you to look at it right now, real time. Give me your assessment. They don't have a way to assess it. It's not their fault. So here I am in this situation, and I'm working around Mexicans, and they didn't speak English, or they did, but they socialized with each other in their own language, but they used they were very lackadaisical with the English language when it came to conducting business with it. They didn't give a damn. But I'm like, you know what? I want to connect into that. And for somebody like me who's always been quiet and observant, my emotional IQ has always been very high. I've never tested my emotional IQ on those European emotional IQ standards. I'm talking about my ability to feel something and it always be correct. My emotional intelligence has always been sky high. I don't poison my perception with a lot of entertainment. I'm actually very selective about what I entertain myself with. I started to realize that what you feed your eyes and ears is just as important to your mind as what you put in your mouth is to your whole body, including your mind, including your eyes and ears. So, all of your senses are tuned to receive, all of them. And there are two more senses that Africans have that the European does not have, so he can't name. In African languages, they're named. In African languages, they're categorized. And in African indigenous religion, everything about ourselves is ritualized. So, yeah, we are able to exercise our true nature if we were in our right minds. But, again, I guess that's why I have to take to YouTube and share what I've learned about myself. And you African people who hear this, you will recognize what I'm saying, although you may not have the ability to classify yet. I have to just put my voice out here. By telling you about myself, you will see yourself in me, and you'll understand. So I was around these Mexicans, and they're speaking to themselves. I wanted to be able to connect to them because I have a very high emotional intelligence. I can feel truth, and I can project truth, and I naturally repel this. I get violently angry when one attempts to deceive me. I had to learn how to channel that. I'm very difficult to lie to about anything because of how my mind works. One day, one of these Mexicans, all the Mexicans went in the back, and towards the end of the day, they would start to close up shop and whatnot, and this Mexican customer walks in, and he looks at me, and then he says, "Me lo siento, pero tú no me puedes ayudar porque yo no puedo hablar inglés para nada. Sí me puedes ayudar, pero yo no puedo hablar inglés." So I go to the back. I say, "Hey man, Nato, man, come on up front, man. Come holler at this cat for me." So me and Nato walk up to the front counter. The customer looks at me. Customer looks at Nato. And then he looks at me again and he says, "I'm just playing, man. Let me get this, that, and the third." I was so livid. I went to the bookstore that night. And I bought a Spanish course. And I started to study it a little bit. Now, mind you, I went all the way through high school without knowing how to read. I kind of intuited my way through tests. And when I taught myself how to read, I learned to read on an emotional level, to connect into the text and experience what was written rather than really give a damn about the order of the word or any of the grammatical structure. I didn't give a shit about that. I was pretty much pulling information and marrying it into what I understood. And if I didn't fully understand it, I created a way to go test the information via testing the ability to exercise it. I would pretty much create an experiment, because if you can understand the microcosm, when you magnify it, you can understand the macrocosm. So everything is microcosmic. Truth is microcosmic, and you're given control of that. So I learned to read on an emotional level. I don't know if folks understand what that means, but I speak directly to the concept, and if you don't have the concept, you can actually pick it out of what I'm saying and experiment on yourself. You'll see what I'm saying. I speak directly to what I see with the most precise language possible, independent of popular language. If you watch a lot of TV, you may struggle to understand much of what I say. TV destroys your ability to use your perception to harmonize with direct reality. If your perception is not calibrated by natural reality, then you cannot use your imagination to create anything. And this was my case for a lot of years. Like I said, I cut the TV off maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So anyway, I was studying this course for a while, and when you study languages in the way we're taught in schools, which is controlled by the European mind, they do things in a programmatic kind of way. They do things in a way to brainwash you into that which you're studying. So you end up reciting written information without really the ability to create with that information. That's something I taught myself when I learned how to read. I didn't know I was teaching myself that, but my nature was to come from the soul on everything I did. You know, after a few months of studying this course book, not getting anywhere, I'm like, wait a minute. Now, how is it I can recite rap songs like it ain't no tomorrow? And you know, every rapper has their own flow, but yet we able to connect into it and flow like them if we choose to. So, you know, how are we able to understand what these rappers are doing? What if language was the same way? So just for the hell of it, I created an experiment to go test my idea. I set up a situation where I was listening to the Spanish language in its natural cultural expression. So I would hear a song on the radio, hear a couple of words, say those words to the lady at the bookstore. She'd pull out the CD. I had a CD player in my pocket, and as I work, I wore headphones. And that sucker, I used to be in the rechargeable battery, so I would bring 2 to 3 sets of rechargeable batteries so that I could have music playing nonstop. And since I do everything emotionally, I connected my emotions into the music. At first, my mind rejected it, but as time went on, it started to normalize, and then it started to actually absorb and be attracted to the sound of that music. This was something new for me. I thought that things you liked, you had a choice over, but you really don't have a choice over your likes and dislikes. Your likes and dislikes are it's the magnetism created by you constantly exposing yourself to certain energies. So when you change those, and then you make those changes consistent, your mind will remagnetize to whatever you've oriented yourself to. So you control what you have to learn how to control your likes and dislikes by what you expose yourself to. The purpose of what you want to be liking must determine the consistent behavior you put, the consistent ritual you put yourself through to magnetize your likes to something, and its polar opposite will be immediately disliked. So if you like McDonald's and you need to like green foods, you start munching on green foods, it's painful. And as time goes on, you start to become attracted to them. Well, McDonald's immediately becomes repulsive to you. I don't know. Nature works that way. If you realize that truth is 100% or 0, or 100% and 100%. And what I mean by that is, as you move to the right, you are moving 100% to the right. And as you move to the right, you're also moving 100% away from left. And to the degree by which you are moving to the right, to that same degree, you are moving away from the left. Black people are the antithesis of white people, not the opposite. Because in nature, all opposites work harmoniously together. Let's look at push and pull. If we are standing on an axis and I'm facing one direction and my opposite is facing the other direction, if I push on that axis at this and to the same degree that my partner pulls on that axis, that push and pull uniting creates rotation, right? And that's how everything in nature works. White people use language to obscure reality for minds they've conditioned against reality with their entertainment. If you disconnect from entertainment, direct reality you will absorb it. You know, when you cut off the TV after many years of watching it, stop going to the movies after many years of going, turn off the radio after many years of listening, your mind will go through withdrawals. You will start fiending for watching TV. But to the degree that you're fiending for the TV is to the same degree that you're rejecting reality. You have an affinity for the TV, which makes you reject reality. As you start to absorb reality, your fiending for the TV will decrease to the same degree that you are now connecting into reality. And when you're fully connected into reality, you will notice a different level of thought. I can't even explain it to people who are not used to it. But let's just go say your mind is now uncapped. I can literally talk for 3 hours, and every word I say will vibe with your mind. That's how uncapped and how tapped into direct reality my mind now is. And so what I did is I created an environment where I began to listen to Spanish music in the form that the Mexicans were emotionally connected into. So I was mindful of what kind of music I listened to. I would go to the taco trucks and listen to what they heard or listen to, go to the store and get it and listen to it myself all day. Then the funny thing started happening. I started singing the damn songs from my own soul. See, Africans do everything inside out. Caucasians don't have a soul, so they look at everything on the surface level and try to mimic the surface. They take from everyone and reassemble what they've taken. But the universe is too just for that. The problem we have with them is that we are aping them without connecting back into our divine technology. As I speak now, I'm quite aware of how I'm delivering my message, but my message is for the mindful. The entertainment mind does not have the ability to fully absorb what I'm saying. You have to disconnect from entertainment in order to fully absorb what I'm saying, because someone like me doesn't want you to believe me. Somebody like me doesn't want you to follow me. I only want you to see what I'm putting out here. Because when you see it, oh, Nelly, Katie bought a dough. When a critical mass of our people see the truth, Katie bought a door. I don't know how many of these videos I gotta make, but damn it, gotta get my voice out here. Funny thing, so I started singing these songs. You know, solo porque no llegué a tiempo en la cita de ayer. Por ignorar a tus caprichos, dices que ya no me quieres ver. Otra vez el mismo cuento. Yo diré que me arrepiento. Tú te fingirás heridas, pero me perdonarás. And those Mexicans started singing it with me. But since I was coming from the soul, it wasn't coming from no memorized lyrics. No, I was feeling this shit. All of a sudden, the hola, que tal, amigo turned into hola, que tal, amigo, como le va? You know, all of the muy bien, gracias turned into ya hago bien, todo bien, cabrón. Cabrón, yeah, ya puedo hablar contigo como si fuese nada. That process took 7 months. You know, so I was fluent in Spanish in 7 months by using divine technology. You see, the European does not have this technology. He can't teach you how to use it. He just sees the result of it, because the more stress we're put under, the more we depend on it, and the more we create solutions to his bullshit. Now his war strategy is to attempt to take the physical stress off of us, put mental pressure on us, and have us imprison ourselves with the use of his use of language. So we are copying his use of language. Once he notices that, he realizes that he can pretty much use nice words to excuse away his behavior, knowing that you will not correct your own use of language to classify what you know him to be doing, in order to condition your mind to formulate solutions from your soul. It's not that black people have to unite with each other. It's that we have to unite to truth, universal order, creation. We got a whole planet, and all kinds of life forms, and a whole universe, and a whole order of a universe that's ready to imbue us with its power to handle our business. But we have to come home to truthfulness. Divine technology does not tolerate disorder. Disorder is not the opposite of order. Disorder is what is repelled by order. You understand? White people do the equivalent of, let's say, you know, you ask little Johnny, why did you shit on this rug? His response will be, well, Bobby Joe shit on the rug too. The black man would just simply say, look here, we talking about you right now. What about you shitting on this rug? Why did you do that? Everybody does it. And if everybody does it, why is it outlawed? Why should it be illegal? You see, they push pathology. You see, white people fight for pathology. They go to war to spread pathology. But they won't go to war to spread justice. They'll go to war to sow seeds of injustice, but they won't go to war to spread justice. They'll go to war with the Middle East, talking about that women are oppressed, because they want to make those women come out of their drawers. You know, look at everyone else who gets so-called liberated by them. Their children and their women get turned out, and their men get destroyed. Why would you want that kind of freedom? It's time to align your use of language with what you see, not with what you believe, not with what you read, not with what you heard, not with what you get good grades for, not with what you get promoted on the job for, but align what you say with what you see, because truth is already. Your perception is what must be purified. And when you finally see, then you will be ready to be. I just thought I'd drop that on you brothers right about now. And like I said, I don't know how many more of these I got to make. But I just got to put what I'm seeing out here and get you guys to maybe think a little bit different. We will not get out of this copying the white boy's responses, copying his language. We have to get back to what we did when we were in elementary school, when the language we used would switch up when white people figured it out, or when enough coons went to them and gave them our code. You know, every time we tell them something, 10 years later, they're using it in their movies. All right, cool. I'm going to catch you back on the flip side, man. Hey, man, I'm going to catch you back on the flip side, cuz. They don't have it. Soul is a drop of water from the universe that is the ocean of blackness. It's no different. Not every people on this planet received that drop of precipitation. All black people did. But not all black people can keep it. Not all black people can cultivate it. Whatever you see inside of yourself, you will see reflected to you outside of yourself. Since white people don't have a soul and they don't have the ability to invade our souls, they have to explore outer space because they understand that space is a microcosm of our souls. You know? So our ancestors explored within, and they created things from without, drawn from the soul, that no white technology can duplicate and no white technology can destroy. They can cover it up, but they spent thousands of years trying to destroy it, and they can't do it because our ancestors carved temples, carved statues out of the hardest materials on this planet, and they don't even have a diamond drill hard enough to penetrate some of this stuff. Our space to explore is within. What the fuck are black people going ooh and ah over androids for? That's not our shit. You understand? You may not, but you will. Catch y'all later.